X's language is so rich and... I'm looking for a word to describe the language of a writer which has the characteristic of being rich and at the same time says that the words that this writer uses have many layers of meanings. The word polysemous, having multiple meanings, and the word multivalent, defined as having many values, meanings, or appeals, seem to fit the description. Yet both words sound quite technical to me. I've never encountered the word polysemous outside the field of linguistics, and multivalent, according to the dictionary, is used mostly in chemistry. So which word is better? The writer's language is so rich and polysemous. The writer's language is so rich and multivalent. Also, are there other, better synonyms?
You don't want either of those words, for a whole host of reasons. They clash with the plain language tone you had going up till them. A lot of people wouldn't know what they meant, or at least would have to pause and puzzle them out. And polysemous can carry a shifty overtone of ambiguity. Just stick to plain English and write something like, the writer's language is rich and deep. The writer's language is rich and layered with meaning. I do not understand this misplaced search for a single word. You might not want to use so as a gushy alternative to very. It works best when you're making a so, as comparison or starting a so, that clause. The writer's language is not so rich as in Regency romance, but it still draws you into her world. The writer's language is not so rich that it cannot be read without a dictionary in hand, but is still rich enough to make you want to live in her story.
The word nuanced is often used in such a context, e.g. the writer's language is so rich and nuanced. According to Wiktionary, nuanced means having nuances, possessed of multiple layers of detail, pattern, or meaning, e.g., the setting sunlight played through the gently waving branches, creating subtly nuanced transitions of color and tone as the shadows swept back and forth in the rosy glow.
You might choose to use a word that is itself subject to interpretation on multiple layers, or that may be a metaphor that captures the meaning you are looking for. There are a few like these, but I think some of these also pass as substitutes for rich as well. Vivid, intensely deep or bright. He has a vivid imagination. His essays produce vivid imagery to the reader. Profound, intense, emotional, deep. There were several subtle and profound references contained in his poem. Imaginative, given to imagination, producing ideas or mental images that are not obvious or evident. The speech was quite imaginative, and gave me several new ideas on how to proceed. Figurative, characterized or abounding in figures of speech. The figurative references left me thinking about many things that are clearly relevant to the man's history.
I would agree that both those words are very technical, and not suitable in most circumstances. I would prefer a word like deep. It is simple and easily understood, but still conveys the meaning you are looking for.
Perhaps stratified. To form or be formed in layers or strata. If you want to emphasize a sensuous richness, you could consider voluptuously stratified. Voluptuous is defined as giving, characterized by, or suggesting ample, unrestrained pleasure to the senses, voluptuous sculptural forms, a voluptuous ripe fruit, a full, voluptuous figure. Or, perhaps, voluptuously layered, since layered implies more than one layer, hence, multi-layered.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.